The number one skill that you need to be successful, the number one skill, the thing that matters the most, is being a fast learner, being a good student. Welcome and much love. Trav here. Very important. We're going to talk about why this is so important to success and how to go about improving this skill set. I've said in the past that I believe the number one character trait to success is persistence, continuing in the face of adversity, not giving up easily, not quitting when things are really tough, continuing over and around and through the biggest obstacles. That's more, you could argue that that's a skill. To me, that's more of a character trait, although it is something that you can develop, persistence, through discipline. However, I want to highlight what I think is the most important skill today, and that is the ability to learn fast, the ability to be a good student. So if you're a slow learner, you're not going to be very good at anything. But if you're a fast learner, you can become very good at whatever it is that you want to be good at. And that's important because it applies to anything, whether if you're doing online business or if you're doing professional whatever, or you're a teacher, any number of things, whatever it is. The faster that you learn, the better you'll get at that thing. The more you'll have to offer, the more useful you'll be. The more you'll be rewarded as well, the more successful you'll be. Agree or disagree? I think that this is pretty obvious and pretty true, and perhaps the only distinction is whether this is the number one or maybe the number two or number three skill set. I do want to clear something up though on education. So education has become really contentious because of the weight of college loans. A lot of people think college is worth it. A lot of people think college is not worth it, that school is worth it, whatever. Here's the thing. When I'm saying being a good student and being a fast learner, what I mean is not necessarily having the highest grades and winning that game. It's not necessarily graduating from the most prestigious college. But a lot of those skills, the skills that you learn as a student going to university or going to high school, apply. You don't have to get them at university. You can also go to university and not get them. Those skills are learning the most from the least time and energy. That's not saying that it's a challenge to put in the least time and energy, but you want to maximize your learning from that time. You want to learn 100x from an hour instead of 10x from that hour, or 1x, right? That way you can spend less time on that task and take it to something else. Or you can spend an equal time on that task, but learn 100x, right? So one of the keys here is efficiency. If you spend all of your time getting those straight A's as a student, but you're very inefficient with your time, you're not really a good student outside of the eyes of the class, right? Because you need time to develop your training, to sleep, to eat, to work on other hobbies and skills and so on, more than just being a student, right? So really what being a good student means is being a fast learner, being an efficient learner. That's really it. So there's a lot of keys to this, and discussed it in other videos, how to be a fast learner, how to be a slow learner, and so on. And here's some of the keys, okay? Well, a lot of the keys, I would say, is just having a macro understanding of how learning works and how learning doesn't work. Understanding things like recency bias, so knowing when to study. Understanding things like spatial memory, how we learn, how you can place things spatially so that you can remember them. It means things like understanding how to read quickly and how to skim books so you don't have to read everything, right? So you can learn. These skills mean things like seeking out mentors and seeking out teachers and being in the habit of asking a lot of questions, not being too proud to ask a lot of questions. It means so many things. Being a good student, being a fast learner, techniques to it. It means being willing to pay for online courses. It doesn't mean you have to do that. It means being willing to pay for books. It means willing to carry pen and paper with you and write things down as you come across them, because that's one of the ways that we retain information better. It means, right, it's the skill of being a student is a lot of things that can be learned in school, can be learned outside of school. But if you have these things down, you understand some of the science of how the brain works. You study hard, you study fast, you study efficiently, you accrue a lot of applicable information that you can apply. Maybe it's an eclectic knowledge that can be applied across a broad general life. Maybe it's more specific in your niche of expertise that you study into. But what ends up happening is you either become very good at what you're doing because you're learning fast and you're a good student, while having time to have a great life and do other things, or if you want to spend all your time on that thing, you just become so insanely good because you're not only spending all your time doing it, but you're also working very smart and just accruing mass amounts of applicable knowledge. You're unbeatable if you put in more time and you work more efficiently than everyone else. You're just going to be so good, right? So that's why I would say if I had one superpower, it would be speed learning. It would be the ability to learn extremely quickly, because if you learn everything, life's going to be good, life's going to be a lot easier, right, than if you are a slow learner, you don't understand how the brain works, you read slowly, read things you don't have to read, you don't apply them to your life, you don't find mentors and teachers, you learn through trial and error, trying to reinvent the wheel, and you don't go out of your way to have tools to make your studying easy. You're gonna have a hard life, even if you put in the time, because you're not training smart. Other people will beat you who are. So that's pretty simple. Now for you, I would like to hear agree, disagree. Is there something more valuable than this? Or if you don't think so, how can you be a better student? What can you do? What resonated with you? Do you need to get a new Moleskine journal that you can keep in a pocketbook? Do you need to invest in some online courses? I'm not even pitching my own, right? I'm just saying in general. Do you need to study reading, study speed reading? What do you need to do to become a faster learner? And what can you do today? And also, what do you want to apply it to? Or do you want to apply it to just generally? Or, for me, like right now, it's important I really want to learn as much as I can about having a good life, having better social skills in a social climate, and how to be healthier, and how to have a successful online business, and farming. There's a lot of things, right? So I don't necessarily have the most time. Therefore, I need to be to do all these things, right? It's broad. Therefore, I need to be an extremely fast learner. So I'll be asking a lot of questions and taking a lot of notes, right? Hope you find this useful. Appreciate you. Look forward to hearing what you have to say in the comments. And peace.